We're looking at a video by Justin Hawkins, and it's about someone named Ren, who I don't know who that is, and a music industry pitfall. So let's check it out.
Good day to you one and all. It is I, Justin Hawkins, and this is Justin Hawkins Rides Again. Today I'm going to be talking about the process and perils of mixing and making music, and what happens when it goes spectacularly wrong and ends in a legal row, as it has done for poor Ren and Cujo Beats. You'll notice I put poor before Ren, I didn't put poor before Cujo Beats. I don't want my interpretation of these events to be considered legally inflammatory in any way, but I do have an opinion about this. It is complicated, but bear with me, I'll explain it all. Justin Hawkins rides again.
Dun, 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 dun.
You'll probably recognise that I'm not in
Usually he has a guitar and he plays a little thing on the guitar.
my usual recording surroundings. These are unfamiliar indeed. This is a car that belongs to my friend Gareth. In here we have some stuff that he's asked me not to look through. Looks like an old wallet. It can't be his. It's from the 1800s. A box marked Burline, but I don't know what they sell. I'm not going to look in there just in case. But an old watch as well, which I think came from Gareth's an elderly relative that bequeathed that to him in their last will and testament. Anyway, the reason why I'm not at home is because we're doing a Darkness record. Today, my brother is recording Frankie playing his bass parts, and I was allowed to go out, and I've just interviewed the Lemon Twigs, which is something that we'll edit and put out for you later. But whilst I'm on the subject of
That's cool. I wonder how the next Darkness album's gonna be. I feel like I just wish they'd do something more gritty. I feel like I Believe in a Thing Called Love has a slight grit to it, and their newer albums have so much polish. It's like too polished.
recording, it is a collaborative process, and it can be quite challenging sometimes. You might spend a day or so on, you know, an arrangement of a guitar solo that's got lots of different harmonies and double parts and stuff, and then somebody might come in at the end of that process and say, no, I don't like that, I think it should be a fucking harmonica solo. Things like that happen, you know, and it's challenging, but I mean, in that band environment, we are talking about stuff that we're playing with our fingers. But you might find yourself in a situation as a solo artist where you're obliged to sort of build a track using some existing music. A really brilliant recent example actually would be Eminem doing Houdini. That was built on the foundations of a much earlier rock track. It was Steve Miller Band's Abracadabra.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking Black Vegas. Right
That
here in
sounds so
Atlanta.
weird. Abracadabra, I wanna reach out and grab you.
I've always had a
can't
bit
do
of an
that
issue
anymore.
with that actually, because it's
I can't reach out and grab people. It's not allowed.
Abracadabra, I want to reach out and grab ya. And technically grab ya and dabra, they don't rhyme, they're near rhymes. If it had gone, I want to reach out and grab ra, then yeah, perfect. Anyway, in this instance, you're going to find it's Eminem has approached the Steve Miller Band and said, would it be all right for me to use this? I want to build an entirely new song around that hook. It will, you know, you'll get some publishing money for doing that, or you probably get some money for the licensing of the master recording as well. If it's an original sample, if it's something that's replayed, it will just be publishing. There's always two streams of income. It's to do with
What kind of video is that? Just like in a warehouse doing like carnival tricks.
master recordings and the sort of intellectual copyright, or the sort of publishing or the songwriting, if you like. So if I wrote a riff that went abracadabra, and then I recorded that, the recording itself is the master recording. If Eminem samples that and then raps over the top of the actual recording of me doing that, then he's got to deal with the record label, because that's a master recording that's licensed by them for exploitation. But the song itself and that sort of harmonic information that I came up with in my brain, if I was the Steve Miller Band, that's another matter altogether, and it's a second argument, really. No
Right.
worries, it's my bad for...
So you've essentially got the actual recording and whoever owns that. And then you've got like the intellectual properties and whoever owns that. If you're lucky, it's the same person, and it's you.
Recording in a car. Could you sign a release form for us, actually?
Sorry,
To have your face in it. Would you like to have your face in this?
I maybe take a baby. But you're recording something now already.
Oh, is there a baby? We won't put the baby on camera, I don't think.
Okay, so fine, it's okay.
Yeah, just let me know when the baby's coming and I'll...
Okay, sorry.
Don't worry. There might be a baby. So yeah, in some instances when you're building a track, you
He's just talking to some random guy. Yeah, we don't want the baby, actually. If you could just toss the baby.
you might not need any of that stuff. You might just play all the instruments yourself. You might come up with an original, insofar as originality is possible.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. All right, so intellectual property of the creation of the music, the recording of the music, and then if you didn't play all the instruments, then there's that too, all the people who did, and what kind of agreement you had with them. By the way, I'm wearing my Krusty Krab hat today that I got at the Halloween store.
You might come up with an original piece of music that you do your rapping on, or, as is the case for Ren on the brilliant track Sick Boy, there was a sample that he bought from a company that does licensable music on the understanding that everything contained in that sample that he would use to build his track from was cleared. Yeah, we can't play the track because it's been pulled from all of the streaming platforms, as Ren announced last week on YouTube.
A lot of you will have been asking me the question why
Nice shirt.
Sick Boy has disappeared now, as well as YouTube on streaming services. It's a video that was very close to me. It's a video that told my story about my health. It's a video that told the story of many other people
No, that sucks though.
who have been gaslit by the medical community. It's a story of greed in the music industry, ironically, funnily enough. It's also a song that I poured tens of thousands of pounds into for a music video, for promotion. It was also the leading title of the only #1 album that I've got, so I was very, very proud of it. And we'll no longer have that song, guys. And I want to go into the reasons why.
Now, Ren goes on to explain how he bought a beat from BeatStars.
For anyone who doesn't know, BeatStars is a platform that connects producers to artists who need beats. I do produce most of my own work, but I wanted to find some hip-hop beats for inspiration. What I would usually do is buy a beat, arrange it slightly differently, tweak it myself, add my own vocals, add my own layers and stuff like that. I find this banging beat, right?
From my perspective, that is like such a weird way to go about things. I don't make rap. I don't make beats. But if I was in a position where I needed a beat, I would I think I'd commission it, you know? I would find someone who does that and I'd chat with them about what I'm looking for and make it happen. The idea that you'd go to a website and buy it, I just think it's weird. I don't like it.
Right, from a producer called Cujo Beats, which I buy an unlimited license for. This is all very important to keep in mind for later on, right?
To cut a long story short, it later emerged that part of the sample might belong to a third party, which is a Bulgarian choir. Ren says he bought the sample in good faith, and Cujo Beats claims he didn't receive the pay or the credit that he was due. So
A Bulgarian choir.
a copyright strike against the
Nice. They're just all in unison, like, you can't screw us over.
song loomed.
Rather than bend to this leverage and just, out of principle, I'm just going to take the song off. I also send a mass email out to everybody, the publisher,
Couldn't you,
Cujo.
if you really cared about the song, I'm pretty sure, so I've run into this situation as a small artist a few times where, anywho, if you don't make any money off of it, then they can't sue you, you know? So if he really wanted to, he could leave the song up and it would just have to be free everywhere, you know? It would have to be available to the public for free. So if he really does care about the song, I think there is a way to have it still.
Joe, the lawyers involved, just saying how disappointed I am across the board, even from people on my side. I was just disappointed. Regardless of earnings, fuck earnings for a second. That song I was proud of.
if fuck earnings and you're proud of it, then like I just said.
What it meant to people, I was proud of. The messages that I get from people every day, telling me like how much they relate to the song, how much it helps them through difficult times, you know, like that's gone now, that's taken away from people. So yeah, I'm pissed off.
Immediately at this,
I swear to God, you could put it on bandcamp.com for free. And that's crap. That's hogwash.
at this point, I mean, I watched that video. I watched the whole Ren going into a tirade about what it means to him and how this has affected him. I mean, it's clearly affected him emotionally. So it actually comes back to Cujo Beats, the person that created it in the first place. Now he's taken something, he's from something else, and it's not just algorithms and computer analysis that shows you when something like that is present. I mean, they can analyze the waveform and tell you from their extensive database whether or not it already exists or whether it's a master recording from something else. That's often how your royalties are collected in the first place. But these Bulgarian folk have gone, hang on a second, that's our recording, we need something back from this, and this is a really, really successful record. They haven't got an agreement in place with Ren. BeatStar have licensed it, and now it's coming back to Ren. For me, I don't think I shouldn't have been necessary for Ren to take that song down. It really shouldn't. This isn't on him. There are examples in the music trade throughout history of people using unlicensed
I
samples.
thought he was going to say what I said, but I still think there's some salt in what I said. Some salt? No, not some salt. Something heavier than that.
And what happens is, like, there's one sort of, I can only say this anecdotally, but there's somebody who is thought to have sampled a Stevie Wonder record without, getting any sort of prior clearance or permission, released the thing, and then Stevie Wonder's people correctly said, hang on a second, you didn't license this, therefore you are obliged to pay more than 100% of the earnings. So then the person who used that Stevie Wonder clip must have been praying that their song wasn't a hit, because it would have been really expensive for them, and it's fair enough, because that's just theft at that point. But Ren didn't do anything wrong. I'm still not seeing any reason for him to roll over and change his arrangement.
I agree with that.
This is entirely ridiculous that somebody's career is stalling and Ren has come up with his own interim solution to dealing with the crisis. He's written a song about it.
I'm releasing a song about this whole situation, and it's dedicated to Cujo. It's called Cujo Beatdown. I made a beat. By the way, the beat has no unlicensed samples in it. I made the whole thing myself. I wrote.
Why didn't you always do that? Why wouldn't you always want to do that? Do you want to make music? Then why are you buying your shit from anybody? Make it. That's what it's all about, is making it yourself.
All the lyrics myself, all the beats are mine. I'll also be recreating Sick Boy because those lyrics and that arrangement is mine. I felt like I needed to get it out somehow, and so I got it out somehow.
He's gonna Taylor Swift it. Good for you. Good for you.
I wonder if it's ever wise to enter into some sort of debate of this nature with an artist like Ren, because if you just look at the way he approaches his art and his poetry and his music and his videos and stuff, you can see the catharsis in what he's doing, and poking him in that way, you're going to get a song made about you. And I do wonder, there's potentially, like the Cujo Beats fella, maybe he just wants the attention, and I mean this with the greatest respect of all. If your main sort of raison d'etre within the music community is to provide free beats, I mean, those are just the building blocks of the real creativity, which starts with people like Ren. And I would say that almost literally anybody can sample a Bulgarian choir and make a beat out of it. This isn't on Ren. It really isn't. Ren, don't roll over. And Cujo needs to go and apologise to some Bulgarian people who are in a choir. There's probably quite a few of them, so I'd go with an entire entourage, because Bulgarians, even the choir singers, they're tough cookies. Anyway, This is a quote from Ren. I appreciate the support, but I don't want anyone going over to him and threatening the guy. I wasn't threatening, I was just saying the Bulgarians might have something to say about it. You don't want to cross those guys.
But I don't actually advocate anyone like giving them an abuse or anything like that, because I am dealing with it, all right? Peace, that's all I'm saying.
So where is this going to end?
That's
Ownership
good.
issues aside, it comes back to the music, and we are getting more music from the dispute. Sick Boy will be remade, and there's the new track Cujo Beatdown, so maybe that's one positive to come out of all this, that it's been a catalyst for, maybe not conciliation, but at least creativity.
Rightly doing right, who is right there on the righteous path, no wrong in words I've right.
All right then. You see what has happened to this man who did not create his own music. You must create your own music. Anyways, that's my judgment for the day.